Howdy Neighbors, David here. And today on Boondock Stallions, we're going to try again with this WandaVision review. Well, it's going to be a small review, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of a fan theory that I've got going on that they ended up setting up the Fantastic Four in this episode of WandaVision. So, before we get started, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get this thing started. So, first things first, I would like to talk about all the negativity I'm seeing on the internet about Elizabeth Olsen's accent as Wanda. Now, I know in Age of Ultron she had a very thick and noticeable accent, but let's look at where she's been since Age of Ultron. Since then, one, she's been moved to America, has American friends, spends most of her days with American friends. Secondly, her and Vision were in hiding during the time between Civil War and Infinity War. So while she was in hiding, it makes perfect sense that she would have tried out different accents closer to being where she was stationed throughout the world. So, sorry, I kind of rambled on there. I was looking for a word. Anywho, so the fact that her accent changed over the course of time is just her getting acclimated to her surroundings. So there's that. Secondly, Monica Rambeau. The episode started with Monica Rambeau coming back from the snap. And so my first issue is I don't know if they've ever covered it in a movie or in a comic or somewhere, and I just wasn't paying attention. But what about people who were on airplanes or boats? You know what I mean? Just where do they end up? Like, do they just fall out of the sky? Are they out in the middle of the water without a boat? You know, what's going on? But we got to see Monica Rambeau come back and experience the hospitals having to deal with just people coming back out of nowhere. Even people who needed severe medical attention when they were snapped away are back, and nobody has any idea who they are or what's going on, and it's complete mayhem there. I really like that. So people have been wondering about why sitcoms, why the first 3 episodes were given to us in sitcom form. And if my theory holds true that Wanda has made some sort of deal with Mephisto to bring back Vision, or at least give her some sense of a life with Vision, I theorize that her and her brother grew up watching old American sitcoms on their TV, and that's where they would have learned English in the first place. And so her memories of old American sitcoms like The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, and Bewitched were these very happy families that were always together and just having the perfect image of a life. And that perfect image is something that Wanda can, or I'm not sorry, I shouldn't say she can never have, but doesn't have. It's something that she wants, and she keeps losing everything that she holds dear to her and taking her further and further away from that happy life, which is why I'm saying that the deal with Mephisto could be mostly what's going on here, because we saw at the very end of the episode as Monica Rambeau gets ejected from the town, she says, "It's all Wanda." And even Wanda herself says, "Don't worry, Vision, I've got everything under control." But I don't think she has everything under as much control as she thinks she does. Like I said, there's somebody else there in the background. And I noticed during the episode, while they were identifying all the citizens of the town on the show with people in the real world, they couldn't find an actual identity for Agnes or Dottie. And so the fact that my theory holds that Agnes is Agatha Harkness and Dottie is Mephisto can still hold true, because those two characters were never actually fully accounted for in the episode. So when Darcy is explaining to director Haywood about the cosmic microwave background radiation, did I say that right? Hold on. Bam, I did. While she's talking about the radiation, he was asking where it came from, and he got very concerned, and he left. Now, this is where my Fantastic Four theory comes into play. You see, at the very beginning of the episode, when we're first introduced to Captain Haywood, and Monica Rambeau and him are walking through the halls, she asks how the astronaut training program is going, and he says, bad. He lost half of his people during the blip, and what half remained lost their nerve. So what if, because we don't know what Sword was up to prior to WandaVision, the Fantastic Four were part of the astronaut training program, and they were out in space when the blip happened, and they disappeared. And when they came back, there was that background radiation, because they even said themselves that space wasn't what it used to be, and they had to switch to unmanned shuttles and drones and robots to keep everything going up there, and nobody's actually been up to space in some time. It could be because that radiation is also in outer space, and when the blip happens and everybody comes back, the Fantastic Four, or sorry, the guys that will become the Fantastic Four, come back and are doused in the radiation. And as they come back to Earth, they're given their powers, and bingo, bango, bongo, that is how the Fantastic Four get into the MCU in later movies. But like I said, it's just a theory right now. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Did I leave anything out? Nope, nothing. So I don't know if anybody here is a fan of the TV show Firefly and the movie Serenity and subsequent comics, but if you are, I'm working on an amazing theory about Shepherd Book and his background, and I'm going to be posting that video here within the next couple of weeks. I just have some comics to read because I need to, cover all my bases. I'm not just going to go out and make a theory video and have somebody come back and be like, actually, they answered that stupid. You probably should have read this. Anyways, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.